The Arizona Cardinals lose their 5th straight game of the season, this time to the Green Bay Packers. They now fall to 2-5. And the Cardinals, it's not all bad, have clarity for the first time. And the Arizona State Sun Devils, led by Sam Leavitt, destroyed Texas Tech for most of that game and come out on top. Let's discuss it. Let's discuss it all next.
The Ben Garcia Show. Yeah. Woo. Best show in the land. Yup. Listen. Come and get your information from Ben Garcia. Get the latest on your quarterback, running backs, and receivers. Tune in, so any other show you don't need them. Any news that he giving out, please just believe him. Giving out the latest prediction and top-notch analysis. Wanna hear the truth, better have thick skin like calluses. The latest move that your team just made can be damaging. The dudes ain't speaking no facts, they just be rambling. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. Yeah. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. The Ben Garcia Show.
What is up? Welcome in to yet another edition of the Ben Garcia Show. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of the show as I obviously take down the banner that's not supposed to be there at this point, but wherever you may be listening, however you may be listening, thank you so much for making this show a part of your day. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. You can find me there on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. If there's a social media platform, I am there at Ben Garcia Show. Guys, that was an insane game yesterday. The Cardinals go down to the wire with the Green Bay Packers. And yes, also, just to put it out there, we are in my brand new home. The apartment is no more. That whole side of things, have you guys been following that saga? We moved into the house this weekend. We are in a full-blown office. It is awesome, and it is because of you guys who have given the support to my career. So for that, thank you so much. That's not why you guys came here. Let's get to some Arizona Cardinals talk. So the Arizona Cardinals fall to the Green Bay Packers. They are now at 2-5 on the season, and there is some good to this. There is also some bad. The bad is the Arizona Cardinals have fallen short of expectations once again, made fools out of all of us, and they will not be a part of the playoffs this year in 2025. That is a tough pill to swallow because for someone like myself who does so much work on this show, I mean, I wish all of you could meet my wife and just ask her, hey, how much does Ben work? The answer would be 24/7. So I'm not happy about it either. I'm not upset when I'm wrong, but it just does get annoying when I put in so much effort and analysis into this team and I buy into that they are going to be more competent than ever and they spit right in my face. I said the Cardinals would be a conference championship appearance team. I didn't think they'd win the Super Bowl. I didn't think they'd win the conference championship game. But I thought the way that the Cardinals were trending was up. And I do think there's a certain vendetta out there for some people who want to be right about the Cardinals quarterback controversy. And so some of those people who have been telling me forever that I was wrong on Kyler Murray, I will agree with you that you were right, but some of you I think were more right. Some of you I believe were right on Kyler because you didn't think a 5'9" quarterback could succeed in the NFL, because you didn't think that his style of play could work in the NFL. And then I think some of you just didn't really like Kyler Murray, which is for some reason the group that I am being grouped into now. Like I just have like a vendetta against Kyler, which is insane for someone that obviously I've met Kyler before. I've been in press conferences and stuff like that with him, but we don't know each other. He certainly doesn't know me. And so I think what you saw on Sunday was clarity. Here's the best thing that came out of Sunday. The Arizona Cardinals, for the first time in 7 years, have clarity. They have clarity on their quarterback situation. Kyler Murray should not be the starting quarterback for this team in 2026. And I love the crutch of an argument that Cardinals fans use. Oh, the Arizona Cardinals are 1-16, are 1-15 without Kyler Murray at the quarterback position. Congratulations on being better than Colt McCoy and Jacoby Brissett and whatever other backup you want to throw in there, Chris Streveler, and whatever other backups you want to throw in there. Congratulations. That is not the winning argument you think it is. And for those out there that say, Kyler Murray, 1-16 without him on the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, do the rest of it. 38-48 with Kyler Murray as their starting quarterback. Will they win more games? They've also played more games. Both are about 10 games below 500. When you go without Kyler, you're 14 games under 500. It's not the winning argument you think it is, Cardinal or Kyler Murray fans. And for the Kyler Murray stands out there, like, I get it. You want to ride with your guy. You're going to be a Cardinal fan, I'm sure, but you want to ride with your guy through and through at the end of the day. You go ahead and do so. There's nothing wrong with that. But for those of you out there saying, he didn't even play yesterday, how is this about him? Holy cow, have your arguments really fallen? And that one shows it more than anything else. You're asking me why I'm talking about Kyler Murray when the offense looked anemic for the first 5 games with him. And then as soon as Jacoby Brissett steps in, the offense not only looks competent, but you're like, if this guy would have started the first other 5 games of the season, this team might be, 5-1, 6-0, 4-2. Like, that's what you're talking about when you're talking about the Arizona Cardinals. If you are sitting there saying, oh my God, why are we talking about Kyler Murray? We should only be talking about Kyler Murray because we blamed the head coach. And he still deserves blame. We will get to him in just a second. And we blamed Drew Petzing. I said that Drew Petzing should be fired. I'm rethinking that a little bit because the offense is ran completely the same with a couple of minor cosmetic tweaks because Kyler Murray isn't great under center and can't throw the ball over the middle of the field because I don't think he can see over the offensive lineman. Like, we should only be talking about Kyler Murray because this season was all about finding out if Kyler Murray was the guy. That's what this season was. You had expectations for the playoffs. I had expectations for even more than that because this defense was competent, because this offense had a lot of weapons on it before all the injuries. I liked the culture Jonathan Gannon was setting for this team. You just needed to know if Kyler Murray was the guy. And for the first time in 7 years, you at least at the bare minimum have clarity. You have a clear understanding of what the Arizona Cardinals are. They are a very talented team who I believe is this close to competing. They just need to find their franchise quarterback. If the Cardinals had a top 10 to 15 quarterback, they might be 6-0. I'll settle for 4-2, 5-1. But you learned what this offense was missing. A big, strong arm quarterback that is not afraid to throw the ball over the middle, be a little risky at times, and have a man draped all over him while still delivering strikes and not afraid of opposing teams' contact, who will play hurt. And I think that's a great thing. I think the Cardinals have a clear understanding of what they are. You know it now. Because when the team needed it most, Jacoby Brissett, not Kyler Murray, has looked better all year long. That is indisputable to this point. Kyler Murray, a guy, I will get to all your guys' comments at the end of the show. I'll take the last 5 to 7 minutes for questions. But Kyler Murray has a career record of 8-22 against the NFC West. He has a career record of 38-48-1. Yeah, without Kyler Murray, they're 1-15 without him. Congratulations on being better than Colt McCoy, Jacoby Brissett, and Chris Streveler. I'm very proud of you. If that's the winning argument you think it is, you continue to write that on your Reddit boards and your Twitter posts. You go with that. But I was a clear defender for Kyler for so long. You guys got mad at me in the chat because I wouldn't say that Kyler Murray wasn't the guy and I didn't believe him anymore for this team because I was going to give it till Thanksgiving. But I can't hold on any longer. I have to just be honest. This team has been better with Jacoby Brissett, who is not a great long-term starter either. I have 10 years of data to do so. Or I have 10 years of data to go off of to show you that. And Kyler Murray might work out somewhere else, maybe. I won't completely close the door on that. But what you're seeing here now is the Cardinals know what they are. They are a very talented team with, I believe, dudes everywhere. It's easy to say after that game yesterday, this team is not talented. The Cardinals went toe-to-toe on the final possession of games against the Indianapolis Colts, who look like a Super Bowl contender, and the Green Bay Packers, who also look like a Super Bowl contender. If they have a top 12 to 15 quarterback, they win both those games. But right now they don't. And I do think it is easier than ever. It's still not easy, but it's easier than ever to find a franchise quarterback. That being in the free agency, maybe find your next Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. That's easier said than done. Or more likely the NFL draft route. And so I thought that was at least a good thing. Like, guys, it sucks. Like, I get it. I saw someone say yesterday, I forgot who it was. I think it was someone who I'm really close with too, but I'm not afraid, to say that they were wrong too, because it's just sports. Someone said, like, Arizona Cardinals fans are pathetic because the Packers fans overtook State Farm Stadium. Why? Why are the Arizona Cardinals pathetic? Why are Arizona Cardinals fans pathetic? They don't want to go watch their team lose. They'd rather either sell their season tickets and make money off them for their family during what is not a great economy, or they're Cardinals fans that don't want to spend their hard-earned money to go watch a team lose. Why do they deserve that? No. Don't reward poor behavior. Reward the Patriots, who have 6 Super Bowls and still show up to games. Reward, the Packers, who have a very rich history if they have a down season. Reward the Bills with their competent quarterback play. Reward the Chiefs if Mahomes gets injured and the season is lost. Support your team. Don't support incompetency. Don't support incompetency. And right now, the Cardinals do still appear a bit incompetent. I will never hold fans accountable for that. Let's also talk about the defense really quickly. I will continue to say this. I'm not going to kill the defense for losing this game. The Cardinals defense did enough. They did enough to win. And the Green Bay Packers had 13 points going into the fourth quarter. The Arizona Cardinals led by 7 points or 6 points going into the fourth quarter. I'm not going to blame the defense for losing this game. Why did they crumble late in fourth quarters? Because that's when Jordyn Love and Daniel Jones, who looks good this year, play well. That's when Sam Darnold, when you need a touchdown, they figure it out. And also, guys, it doesn't take a football 101 genius to say the defensive side of the ball is more taxing than the offensive side of the ball. You're hitting, you're punching, you're tackling every single play. You're gang tackling every single play. You get tired. There's that idea of wear the defense down. The defense gets worn down. The defense, I wouldn't say is elite anymore, but it's very good. It is statistically one of the best defenses in the NFL. If the Cardinals have a top 12 to 15 quarterback, they're probably 4-2, 5-1, because the defense has done its job. Outside of the Colts game last week, that I'll give you. Cardinals defense didn't look great. Probably should have had a couple more interceptions, but if defensive backs could catch, yada, yada, yada. They held the Packers to 13 points going into the fourth quarter. They're one of the best scoring defenses in the NFL. At minimum, they're a top third defense in the NFL. You hand any top 10 quarterback that, they're turning that into a winning record. I don't believe in the big 2025 defense wins championships with the rules that are predicated towards the offensive side of the ball. The Cardinals allocated a lot of resources to the defensive side of the ball. They should stop Jordyn Love, but I just don't hold them to this same elite standard as you do. No, I'm not bailing them out. Some people might say I am. Whatever. The Cardinals defense, one, is worn down at the end of games. And two, kind of got dealt a crappy hand on 2 Packers touchdowns. Jacoby Brissett fumbles the ball, and the Green Bay Packers pick it up. And they get outstanding field position, and they score. Is that entirely the defense's fault? They were already in field goal range. No, part of that is the offense's fault. Don't put your defense in bad situations. The other thing, and this is where you're like, you want to go after Drew Petzing, which is totally fine. The Arizona Cardinals defense also got put on a bad position when the Packers went down and scored again because the Cardinals went forward on 4th and 1. Yes, on 4th and 1. Am I happy the Cardinals went for it? Absolutely. But a quarterback sneak, which felt like a 4th and 1.5, really? This is not the Philadelphia Eagles tush push. That was an atrocious play call, and Drew Petzing should get all the arrows for that. That was terrible. That was like turtle shelling. Like, just punt the ball back to them if you're going to play that soft. And so the Packers got put in plus field position already. That is not entirely the defense's fault. Please watch the game with more nuance. What happened before that? It's not like the Packers, went 80 yards on 2 touchdown drives to end this game. No, both touchdown drives. Let me just look at this really quickly so I don't sound like I'm talking out of my you-know-what. They went in the fourth quarter, they went 9 plays, 67 yards for a touchdown. And then for the game-winning drive where they got set up in bad field positioning, they went 10 plays, 48 drives. Or they went 10 plays, 48 yards. Is that the defense's fault for being put in bad positioning? Like, yes, hold them to a field goal. Absolutely. But the Packers knew that they had to get a touchdown to win this game likely. And listen, they got plus field position. They made the Cardinals pay. And so I'm not going to kill the defense for that. But yes, there is also the argument of like, why do you keep breaking down late in games? I think it's pretty easy. The Arizona Cardinals offense has not consistently been on the field enough through 6 games to where the Cardinals defense is on the field, it feels like way more. And it's exhausting. You wear the defense down. So I'm not going to kill them for losing this game, but like, I just have different expectations than you guys do. I don't think they're elite. I think they're top 3rd in the NFL. I don't think they're the 2000 Ravens or the 85 Bears. And I know that's being a little tongue-in-cheek. I know you guys don't think that too. But like, this defense is really good, but they're still missing Garrett Williams. They still don't have Walter Nolan. Darius Robinson has been a bust. Will Johnson is very good, but got picked on a couple of times. Got some kind of bad flags thrown on him. And so that's what I'll lean on it, guys. Like, it's an offensive league in 2025. I'm not breaking any ground by saying that. And so here's the other thing. We'll banish Jonah Williams to Alcatraz. I made the joke yesterday. Release, waive and stretch, trade, buy out, and then send Jonah Williams to Alcatraz. There is no reason, because if you've been watching this show, I feel vindicated on a lot of stuff. I was wrong about the Kyler Murray thing. I thought he was just going to be better, and I thought this offense was going to be more tailored for him. It just hasn't happened yet. But I've been right on pretty much everything else. Outside of Kyler Murray and my Cardinals season-long prediction, I've been right about just about everything else. And like, that feels good that the research and analysts that I've tried to provide to you has been pretty accurate. But one of them I said to you guys, Jonah Williams ain't it. When they signed Jonah Williams 2 years ago, I was like, he's not it. I don't know what the Arizona Cardinals saw in the limited action that they had Jonah Williams in last year that they said we need to run that back. And not only do we need to run that back, we need to remove Kelvin Beachum, who's been a very solid tackle for this team his entire tenure as a Cardinal. I made the joke of like, Jonah Williams must just hate Jacoby Brissett. He must just hate Jacoby Brissett. He is an abomination at the right tackle position. And it is a Jonathan Gannon problem and a Drew Petzing problem that hasn't been addressed yet. That is incredibly easy to move Jonah Williams out and put Kelvin Beachum in. You can make the argument to me, if Kelvin Beachum starts that game, the Arizona Cardinals win. Maybe Micah Parsons has 1.5 sacks and 5 pressures, not 10 pressures and 3 sacks. Paris Johnson Jr. got beat once. It happens. Even the best get beat. Jonah Williams would have been better off as a cone because at least you know, hey, 1 Mississippi, ball's got to come out. Instead, you're going 1 Mississippi, 1.5, and then you're getting sacked. Jonah Williams cannot be there anymore. He's an abomination of a right tackle. Like, that's one of the things you got to give Kyler Murray credit and Jacoby Brissett credit is like, how the hell did you deal with that guy? How the hell did you deal with that guy? To the Jonathan Gannon stuff. The Arizona Cardinals lost 5 straight games by a combined 13 points. Some of that is quarterback play. If the Cardinals had a better quarterback, they'd probably win those games. Some of those is coaching. How do you allow Drew Petzing go for it on 4th and 1, which is okay? Have an aggressive mentality. I like that. But run a quarterback sneak, which was 4th and 1, but felt like more of 4th and 1.5. Gannon, I think, is a true leader. And to anyone in the chats like trying to blame Gannon, guys, he got an A+ grade from the Players Association on the report cards last year. He is clearly doing something right and is a very good CEO head coach. He's a leader of men. He's established a culture. And to his credit, he told us all year there's nothing wrong with the offense. What does that tell you about Kyler Murray when Jacoby Brissett came in? There was nothing wrong with the offense. It was a quarterback issue. And so Jonathan Gannon deserves some blame. And he should get some blame. There were some clearly boneheaded mistakes yesterday. But it's clear you're going to have to probably run this back as of right now with a new quarterback. Jonathan Gannon and Monty Austin-Fort did not pick Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray picked them. They had just paid Kyler. They were not ready to eat that salary cap right away. They were not ready to eat that cap hit right now. Michael Bidwell wanted it to work with Kyler. It's not going to work. They gave it a good go. I think Jonathan Gannon and Monty Austin-Fort are going to get a second chance with a quarterback. And I think if the season looks like it does now, where they win probably like 3 more games because the schedule gets really difficult, I just think you've seen enough through these last 2 games, like, oh, maybe it was a quarterback problem. Maybe it was a quarterback issue. And so here's the other thing. I think I was too hard on Drew Petzing. Now, again, the 4th and 1 call was atrocious, and Drew Petzing still has some issues, and if the Cardinals got rid of him at the end of the year, I wouldn't be upset about it. But I feel like an idiot. Like, I feel really dumb. I've supported Kyler for a long time, and now I've kind of, turned a new leaf. I thought this was a Drew Petzing issue, and I'm not sure it was. I think this team just needs another quarterback. And so losing 5 straight games by a combined 13 points, I think that's half and half. A quarterbacking issue and a coaching issue. Because this team still fights, guys. He hasn't lost the locker room. They're 2-4, and Budda Baker is still laying his body on the line, 5'10", 190 pounds of him, knocking Jordyn Love, 6'4", 220 pounds on his ass. So, yeah. I think you're going to run it back, plus or minus Drew Petzing. I'll leave that up to the Cardinals, coaching staff and front office. And, of course, I'll revisit it again later in the season. I reserve the right to change my mind, even if some of you think I have to stick with an opinion through and through. It's okay sometimes to just be like, oh, I got it wrong there. I've done it with the Kyler Murray thing. All right. To happier news, because I've got to get to this, guys. I'm sorry. I've got to get to this. The Arizona State Sun Devils, they won a game on Saturday that I pride myself on being unbiased. My analysis, like, I've got no agenda. Guys, no one pays me to do this. I've seen people say, like, cancel the Ben Garcia show. Cancel his show. How are you going to do that? You're looking at the CEO, boss, general manager, producer, host, script writer, social media manager right here. There's no one else on this show. It's just me, which is what makes it awesome. And I thank you guys for allowing me to do this. But, like, there's no button you could press to just take me off the air. Unless someone at YouTube's got an idea of how to do that. But I called this ASU thing, man. And for the first time in I don't know how long, man, I felt like a fan. Maybe it's because it's my alma mater. Like, I went to ASU. Maybe that's what it is. And I feel like I'm more a part of the team than I am Cardinals, Suns, Diamondbacks. Like, I don't know. But that game was fun on Saturday. And it was kind of fun to also get some sweet revenge on some Texas Tech fans who showed up in my comment section trying to tell me I didn't understand the magnitude of which Sam Leavitt is for Arizona State University. ASU were underdogs in this game, and backup quarterback or not for Texas Tech, you liked him a ton until you played Arizona State, a real team. And ASU dominated Texas Tech for 3.5 quarters. The defense kind of gave up some stuff. Some of that was special teams. And Texas Tech went up in this game, I believe, 23-22. And then magic happened. Listen, to all the Arizona Cardinals fans, if you live in the greater Phoenix area, watch this ASU team. There's something special brewing in Tempe, whether it's this season or down the line. The foundation is being built from Kenny Dillingham. I was so impressed with what I saw. That is the 7th-ranked team in the nation. Your season's on the line. You lose that game, you're not making the playoffs. And Sam Leavitt needed his best game of the season. And damn it, did Sam Leavitt, Kenny Dillingham, Jordyn Tyson, and this defense come to play. I was thoroughly impressed on Saturday. And here's my point about it. I will always take the coach, the culture, and the quarterback over microwave success oil money. Texas Tech's payroll is north of like $20 million for their team. Something insane. ASU has got a fraction of that on their team. And they want to blame the quarterback for losing this game. You were up 23-22 at one point. But culture, the coach, and the quarterback will always matter more than NIL, the money you throw at your team, and microwave success. And that's what Texas Tech is right now. They're microwave success, and they think it's going to bring them a national title, and it won't. Because coach and culture will always mean more. You'll be competitive, and you might beat ASU a time or two. But culture matters. And ASU's got a better culture than Texas Tech has right now. And that was thoroughly impressive on Saturday. Just throttling Texas Tech for 3.5 quarters. Yeah, you had to come back and win. But it goes to show you something special is brewing in Tempe. And that game was electric on Saturday. I was off my seat. I was screaming at the TV. I don't do that. It's not me. I'm impartial, unbiased, opinion guy. But what Kenny Dillingham is doing is infectious. And, I should be more ashamed for doing that. But what we saw on Saturday was absolutely insane. And I told you guys, I was taking ASU over them because I'll take culture and coach over microwave success and the oil money they throw at their team. And I'll take The better head coach, the better quarterback, the better culture, and the better wide receiver 10 times out of 10. That's going to bite me in the ass 2 times out of those 10, but I'm going to go with the 8 over 10. Here's the last thing I'll say. Jordyn Tyson was awesome. I don't want to miss him. He was great. Probably should have had 200 yards on Saturday. But I'm always going to talk about the quarterback. Sam Leavitt continues to be the most disrespected, most underrated quarterback in the nation. That kid is just a winner. I like his tangibles. I think he's got a good arm. I think he can really whip that thing. The arm angles at times can be insane, and he has really added a wrinkle to his game with his legs that is going to translate to the NFL. But even more than that, that kid is a leader. You saw him get emotional on Saturday's press conference because he just wanted to be out there with his guys against Utah. He potentially made a mistake getting injured. We don't know if it was a basketball mishap or maybe in practice that never got confirmed. But either way, he felt terrible that he couldn't be out there with his guys. And he was out there Saturday and he made Texas Tech pay for it. But the biggest thing that can be said about a quarterback, how do you know if they're a great quarterback in college football or in the pros? Here's how. When the opposing team knows you need to score and knows you need a touchdown to win the game and knows you have to do so by passing the football against one of the better defensive lines in the nation and defenses as a whole, what do you do? Oh, no big deal. I'll just storm down the field. I want to get the exact one here for Sam Leavitt. Oh, no big deal. I'll just go 10 plays, 75 yards in a minute 26 and win the game. That's what elite quarterbacks do. And that 4th and 2, scrambling to his right with a man draped all over him, knowing he's going to take a lick, finding Jordyn Tyson open. God, I've been so right about this. That kid can play. And an NFL team is going to get a freaking dog when that kid comes out. Maybe it's the Cardinals, maybe it's another team. But that kid can play. And I just felt very vindicated about that. That was awesome. That was freaking awesome on Saturday. So for all the things that the Arizona Cardinals, let us down on Sunday, ASU, Kenny Dillingham, Sam Leavitt, Jordyn Tyson, that was great. That was great. Also, just side note, when people are like, oh, you're going to rush the field against a backup quarterback? Dude, it's the college culture. You think the college students in the stands are talking to themselves, hey, is this the right time to storm the field? No, that's not what they're doing. They're finding any reason to storm the field. If everyone would storm the field every single week, that's exactly what the students would do. What are we doing here, man? What are we doing? No one is freaking out about, oh, are we storming? What are we doing here? Hey, section 204. Are we storming? Is a backup quarterback. No one's doing that. There's some things that need nuance, some things don't. And so that was great. I want to take a little bit of time. The last, I actually have to get going here in a second. Believe it or not, I still have a day job. I want to look at I set myself up for that. People are definitely going to say, yeah, we definitely know you have a day job. That's hilarious. Jackie Whittingham, 2-5 with a -1 point differential, says best worst team of the league. It's a great analysis. That's absolutely true. Back to Constitution. Congrats on the new house. Hope you get 3 more. Thanks, brother. Controversy. It's obvious. It is obvious. Jacoby Brissett should be the starter for this team. I don't think the thing is I don't think it matters anymore. They're not making the playoffs. Maybe you want to start Kyler and try to boost up his trade value, or maybe trade him at the deadline. How is it time to move on from? Now it's time to move on from Drew. I don't know. I thought Drew Petzing has called 2 really good games with some boneheaded mistakes in there. So if you still want to get rid of Drew, I'm not gonna get upset with you for it. Sometimes you just need to move on. Second half coming up, Kyle lead us to his promised land. What? They're 2-5, man. It's not happening. Kyler Murray has a career record of 8-22 against the NFC West. Mentioned that. JG is like Torrey of the D-backs. Players will fight for him, I think it's supposed to say, but they just don't have enough to pull off games. It's not a terrible comp. I might steal that later in the week. Saul, I might steal that from you. That's not terrible. I have to think about it. I got to mull that over. But like, I think JG is a better leader. I don't know. That's interesting. Because like Torrey also made it to a World Series by managing his ass off with the bullpen. Yes, but both look like Super Bowl contenders. Yes, they do. We let them off the hook. Yep, absolutely true. MHJ is a solid wide receiver too. Am I wrong? Even if he is, like, that's great. Now it's a terrible overdraft, but like that's good. Like you need a wide receiver too in this league. I don't know yet. Like I need to pause the Marvin Harrison Jr. stuff. I need to pause that. He makes big plays and you're like, damn. You know who's a really good wide receiver too and needs more targets, and we've been saying this on the show for years now? Michael Wilson. Right tackle sucked badly. God, dude, banish Jonah Williams to the moon. Tyson would be great from ASU. Dude, do you draft another wide receiver? I don't know. I don't know. My guy Jody Ayler mentioned like the Cardinals should draft an offensive lineman or Jordan Tyson. Then the year after, select Sam Leavitt if he comes out next year or in the second round, and then go get Kenny Dillingham. That's an interesting conversation to have later this week. I wish I would have came up with that on my own, but I can't. I can't steal other people's stuff and say it was mine. But that's an interesting one. Dillingham will never leave ASU. Yeah, he's not leaving ASU. He's not losing ASU. Leave ASU. He's not leaving ASU for another college job if they pay him, and I think they will. I think he could leave ASU for like an Arizona Cardinals job because it's still in Arizona. Boy, JG is just too soft. I don't know, man. If you're like Cliff Kingsbury was soft. The dude was a beta male. I don't know if I would call him soft. I got to kind of skip a few here because I got to get to the end. Tyson played with a hamstring. K1 will play. Gannon loves him. Maybe. We'll see. What would you do if you're the Cardinals GM with the trade deadline looming? I mean, like, I'm not buying, but also, like, I'm not really selling. What do I have to sell? Like, I'm not selling McBride. I'm not selling Budda Baker. What do I have to sell? I'm not selling Will Johnson or Garrett Williams. Like, these are all young, talented players. Like, you're probably just going to stand pat. Maybe someone trades for a Jalen Thompson, but, like, that's it. And you're certainly not buying. That would be GM malpractice. But with that being said, guys, appreciate you guys tuning into the Ben Garcia Show. I'll be here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every day, or Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. Join me here. I'll be here. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. We talk all Arizona sports on this show. However, it's more dominated by football right now, and we're talking relevancy. But the Sun season's coming up. We'll probably talk some more of that here, or you can check out my work at Locked On Phoenix Suns as well. But for that being said, everyone in the chat, Michael, Ian, Back to Constitution, Zach, Saul, GTO, Greg, back the something theory, Michael Evans, Jackie, Zach, all you guys being here, appreciate you guys doing so. You guys are the reason why I have this house. So thank you. It's amazing. Maybe one day we just have a barbecue in the backyard. But with that being said, stay safe, guys. Have a heck of a Monday. Have a heck of a week, and I'll see you guys at Wednesday at 7 a.m.